Sean from Shieldwall Gaming here, and our club and our YouTube channel is going to be doing a lot of different things. The club is a real club in Cleveland, Ohio, and we specialize in miniature gaming, tabletop gaming, board gaming, card games, and it's that's what drives us. That's where our passion is. We have large game collections. We have a lot of events that we run. But with the YouTube channel, we wanted to do a few different things and try to do some stuff that maybe some other channels aren't doing or are doing, but just kind of give it our frame of reference on what we're doing and maybe what we might be doing different. So I'm not always going to promise radically different new material from this YouTube channel, but we're going to do our best with it. But one of the things I thought would be fun is every once in a while, I play a lot of different style of video games as well, and although board gaming and tabletop gaming, card gaming is my passion, and that's really where my hobby time is spent. I paint miniatures, things like that. It's fun to dip into the video game space. I've done it for a long time, and there's a lot of games now coming out that are really meshing the two together. So, of course, we have a lot of traditional tabletop games that are becoming digital, that you can play the board game or the tabletop game or the miniatures game in a digital setting on a PC game. But there's a lot of games that are coming out that are meshing board game tactics together. And let's face it, a role-playing game is from Dungeons and Dragons, right? So video games have borrowed off of the tabletop gaming space, but they're still doing that, and they're doing it in a really cool way. And a game that I wanted to show you today that I thought maybe a lot of you guys that like tabletop games would be interested in is a game called Slay the Spire. Now, it has multiple different things going for it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is it's a deck builder. And so the deck building aspect of it is, of course, a pure tabletop game, card game style. My favorite deck builder is Thunderstone Quest, along with Marvel Legendary, Trains, Dominion, of course, was one of the originals. There's a lot of different deck builders out there. But this game, Slay the Spire, combines deck building. Yes, please. It combines dungeon crawling. Yes, I'll do that as well. And then it combines roguelike gameplay. Now, roguelike gameplay is a very video game style thing. The term comes from a game that was created, a PC game in 1980 called Rogue. But it is randomly or procedurally generated dungeons. So you're always going into a different place, facing different enemies. This game's no exception. You're going down a different tree. But the difference here is the combat is purely based on a deck building concept. You get a starting hand of cards, or starting deck, and then as you beat enemies and you work your way up, you get multiple different things. You get different cards that do different abilities and have different interactions. You also still get relics and things like that that give you different abilities as you play. So I wanted to kind of talk about that because it's fun. I was going to show you guys the game. I'm already kind of in the middle of a run here. I'm on my second level, I guess you could say. I just beat an enemy here. So I get gold, and then I get to choose a card to add to my deck. Now, this is my current deck, and this is what I have. I still have a lot of my original cards. There are ways to get rid of these cards as you go through the map, and I'll show you the map in 1 second. And then this is kind of this hero. There's I think 4 heroes. You unlock them as you play, and this is the base hero. This is the first one that you start with, and they are a little bit more in your face, kind of I guess I want to say Red Deck Wins style. It's very, sacrificing things, win at all costs. There's not a lot of healing, and you get the choice as you go through this. But in this situation, we're going to get to choose a card to add. So feel no pain. Whenever a card's exhausted, you gain 4 block. Whenever there's a card in your hand that's made of energy or a card that says it'll exhaust, if you pay it, it means it disappears for the combat round. You get it back in between rounds. And then Searing Blow, let's see, 12 damage, can be upgraded any number of times. Then War Cry will give you a card. I don't really have a card draw thing going for me, so I'm going to take Searing Blow. And we'll put the game audio on here as well. So let's go to agenda. So this is what the procedurally generated dungeons look like. Oh, I get a choice here. So the question marks are, you don't know where you're going. You could be going into kind of a, what am I trying to say? You could be going into a an RPG style situation where you have to interact with something. The nice thing is it usually kind of always gives you your choice of what's going to happen. Let's go to the store though, and let's see if we can upgrade our deck here. We have a lot of gold. So our gold's here. Our potions are here. You can have 3 potions. Potions are something you can play live that aren't your card. You can see I'm down in health a little bit. I got beat up by the last guy. And these are your relics, and I'll talk about those in 1 second when we get into combat here. You can also buy relics, as you can see. What is this? Attack potion. You can now remove cards from your deck at rest sites. That's kind of nice. It's expensive. So these are out of my class. These are like generic cards. This is just a deal 6 damage for free. That's kind of a nice combo. Whirlwind is a really powerful card, and actually I like the idea of having more of those. So I'm going to add a Whirlwind. I like this card as well. It's 8 block, and you'll see how block works in a second. Draw 1 card. I think I'm going to grab that. 254 left. Oh, cards removal service. I didn't even see that. Increases by 25% the rest of the day. So that's 75. So let's do that. Let's pay 75 gold. I'm going to remove 1 of my blocks. So this is a way you can thin your deck out if you're familiar with deck builders. There's also other ways to do that too. So I think we're good there. I don't know. Choose and add 5 cards to your deck. Ooh. That's interesting. 5 max health. Choose 1 of 3 random colorless. Choose 1 of 3 random attack cards. And that's what these are. My red are my attack cards, colorless cards. These are colorless cards. I think we're good there. Let's save the money for if we hit further down the road. And so these are enemies. I will have another chance depending on which path I take. It looks like I'm on this left path, but once I get here, I get choices again which way you're going to go. And it's all randomly generated when you get there. And then the goal is to get to the very top, and then you'll go to a different level after that. But let's go ahead and get into a match, and I'll just kind of briefly talk you through it. So let's fight an enemy here. Ooh. Okay, so this is... so I get 2 wounds into my deck, and here's the deck you draw from, and then this is, of course, your discard pile. You can look at it at any time. And here are my relics. So what my relics do, each one gives me something. So it does something for me. And you can collect as you go on these runs all the way across the top here. You start with this one, whatever your class relic is. And so at the end of combat, I heal 6 HP. You can see I'm 66 of 80 right now. And then Pantograph at the start of a boss combat, I get 25 health. So that's pretty good. This relic... you receive 5 or less unblockable attack damage, reduce it to 1. And then Mark of Pain gives me an extra resource. You start with 3. And it's a pretty simple game. Here's your resources. I got 4 of 4. And here are the costs in the upper left-hand corner and what you can do and target. And this part kind of plays like a turn-based RPG. But you do it in the deck builder. You're going to see these cards again as you go through. So let's see what these guys do. So the nice thing is it kind of tells you what they're going to be doing. This guy's going to be attacking me, and he's going to try to inflict me with some type of negative effect status. And he's going to attack me for 8 damage. So I know that if I don't have any guard up, I'm going to take 8 damage. I don't really want to take that much now. And then he's actually intending to block this turn and not doing much else. So we definitely want to play a defend and defend some of this. Or I could just hit him really hard right now with Whirlwind. Maybe we'll do a combination. So I'm going to weaken... let me see here. This is... Yeah, I'm going to weaken this Centurion here. So what I just did was I gave him... any attack deals 25% less damage for 2 turns. So he's not as strong on his attacks as he normally is. And then I'm going to add a defend. So that's going to take 1 resource away, as you can see. So that gave me 5 to block. So I'll take 3 damage on this one, but then I'm going to play Whirlwind, which I'll deal 5 damage to all the enemies X times. And of course, if anybody's played Magic, you know that X always usually means how much extra mana can you pay. I'm going to pay 3. So all of them are going to take 15 damage here, which is a pretty good starting place for me. Now I'm out of mana. I end my turn. These get discarded, and now the enemies are going to take their turns and attack. So he defended, and then, of course, I'm getting attacked here, and I took some damage. Now the nice thing is I have this relic where if I would receive 5 or less unblocked damage, it gets reduced by 1. So in that situation, I blocked most of it. He hit me for extra, and it reduced by 1 because of that relic. Every time I take damage, this costs 1 less. I just took damage, so this is 3 for 18 damage on one of these guys. He's going to hit me for 9. And this enemy intends to use a buff. So that means they're going to make themselves stronger. He's also got 15 shield here. He's also weakened. This is a wound. I can't do anything with that. That's kind of in my hand. And I have no real other place. So what I could do is I'm going to have to cycle this back around. I'm not going to play this turn. And this card, every time you play it, it gets stronger. So that's good. Same thing with this one. So I think I'm going to go double Rampage here. I can't really block much. Actually, I can't block at all. So I'm going to pay 2 and make him vulnerable. So now what this means is my attacks are going to do 50% more damage for 2 turns to him. And I also hit him. And we'll hit Rampage. And both of these cards, when they leave my deck, are going to get stronger. And now I'm going to have to just eat 9 damage to the face. And that's all part of the experience of being on a run like this, I guess. Okay, and he healed himself. So he did something to take his block, and he healed himself back up. Okay. So I can deal 10 straight damage. He's still weakened, so I kind of want to take advantage of this 50% or more damage. So I'm going to hit Rage. Man, Whirlwind again. I love that card. 12 grand. So this will just be 12 damage for 2. So definitely what this card does, Rage, is going to allow me to 0 cost, and whenever I play an attack card, it's going to add 3 block to me. So that's the only block I have. So I'm going to kind of have to do that. And so with that, I might have to let Whirlwind pass here because I'm going to double strike 7 damage on him there. I'm going to double strike 7 damage there. I've got him down to 18. So Whirlwind is going to hit him 5 damage. It's going to hit him for 10 versus 2 for 12. Let's go ahead and... Oh, that's right, because he's weakened. So I got him out of there, which is good. And now I had 9 block. I didn't really need it. All right, so that's good. I forgot that he was weakened, so that 12 turned into more there. So I think he tried to... I think he was putting the command in to heal this guy. And he died before he could do that, so it looks like it fizzled. Now this is interesting. I can exhaust my hand and deal 10 damage for each card exhausted, and then this card gets exhausted. Now, I'll show you. I'll just do this because I'll show you what exhausted means. It basically means I'm going to destroy all these cards. Now, I get them back in each combat, but they're all going to get destroyed for this round of combat. So let's go ahead and do that and see. We're going to attack him for that. Boom, 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 boom. Almost have him dead. I still have 2 energy left, and now I can see my exhausted cards here. So if I'm looking through my deck going, well, what's happening? We got that going. That's where you can find it. All right, so he is going to use a buff. He's probably going to try to heal himself, I'd imagine. I got to try to take him out here, I think, which I don't know if I can really do much. I don't need that block card. So, I mean, we'll gain 3 block, do 5 damage, and we're just going to pound him with everything we can here, and that will finish him off. So then the round ends, and you always get loot at the end of each enemy that you fight. So I'm going to get 18 plus 5 because I have this golden idol. Enemies will drop 25% more gold, so that's that. And then we'll add another card to my deck. So this is disarm. Enemy loses 3 strength and exhaust. So that means it makes him weaker and more tired. Pommel strike, deal 10 damage and draw 2 cards. I like that card, and that's an upgraded card. Cleave. I like that card. I like giving myself options in the draw. So that's what I'm going to do there. So as you can see, it's a fun little game. I just wanted to kind of show that, run through a round. It's amazing how these games are crossing over. And then if you go all the way through this and you die, the nice thing is, well, it's different. Most roguelikes, you will keep something from the game. You'll keep a token, you keep a relic, or you'll keep different things. So Binding of Isaac, you get to keep little pieces. I played a game Undermine. And Undermine I like because you get to basically keep everything. You lose gold, but you upgrade, and everything you upgrade each time you go back into the mine, you get stronger. This game you don't. This game you lose everything at the end, and you should always start with a basic starter deck. But what's cool about it is you unlock things as you go, and you're always unlocking a different path. You're always getting to different relics. You're fighting different enemies. You're fighting a different main boss. And it's really fun. And what's great about the game is the improvement and how your character gets better is you get better at the game. You get better at the deck builder. And that's really fun. So just a fun little game that I thought would be interesting. It's $24.99 on Steam. And if you like board games, if you like the combination of how tabletop games and board games are starting to mesh, and these are quick games. It's not on iOS or anything yet. It's only on PC or Mac. Which the nice thing about that is if you own a Mac and a PC, if you buy it once, you get it on both with Steam. But Slay the Spire is a fun little game, and I'm always in a position where I'm finding myself playing these types of games that mirror those tabletop mechanics. So thanks again for giving Shieldwall a chance. Thanks for watching this kind of, I don't even know what this was, this kind of video review / something to try out for tabletop gamers and how these worlds mesh, and appreciate your time. And keep hit us up on Twitter, of course. It's Shieldwall C, and more videos coming your way. Thanks.